the span, which also contains the project title. That is what will appear in the little box that sits just outside of the element. And of course the image, which is actually the thumbnail. The alt text for that also should pull in the data for the actual title itself. Now, I've actually followed a standard naming scheme here with all of the images on the site. So depending what they are, in this particular instance, this is the outer thumbnail, and it's also featured. So we have this sort of extension here at the end of the file name. And the URL bit, this is the bit that I'll change soon when we come to the CMS to actually fill in the URL for that, and that will really just be, some of that will be written in dynamically and some of that will be just pulled out of the file name. So that's the very simple structure for that bit there. Now you'll see that there's actually only one list item here. That's because, well, of course there are actually 4, but they are repeated once we get into the CMS. We'll with the loop, we will make that repeat 4 times, so that 4 projects appear. So to all intents and purposes, we have an unordered list with what will effectively eventually be 4 list items in there. All pretty straightforward stuff. Now, a quick word about how I tend to sort out CSS. This is my CSS folder, which actually sits on the live site on a separate domain. I tend to break down the CSS into these kind of files. The main ones really are essentially typography, layout, and enrichment for the fancy CSS3 stuff. There's also a reset, which is called in first, which kind of resets everything, margins, paddings to 0, all that kind of stuff. Now, just to go through it basically, let's open up layout CSS, and we'll find the portfolio stuff. Here we go, and just if I just strip that out for a moment, you can see it all without any styling. So let's just save that, and we'll jump back to here. We should see those changes reflected. Portfolio without really much styling going on there, apart from there are some typographic styles which are going on the typography style sheet. We'll ignore them for now. What you can see here is the elements without the special layout treatment being applied. So here's the span, which is not looking very nice at all. It's throwing all the layout out. It's not positioned absolutely. Similarly, when we get down to the other thumbnails, you're seeing the same thing going on. There's no floating going on there. There's hardly any layout. The span's messing everything up. So let's just look at